NBA playoffs have the Heat versus the Knicks, which is the old school rivalry. You got Philadelphia and Boston. You got the Lakers and Golden State, two greats, LeBron and Steph. And then you got the Phoenix Suns and Denver Nuggets. Loved it. Always like to see KD in the playoffs. Hopefully they can bounce back. But Craig, we about to get into it, man. Second round of playoffs are here. They're live. They're lit. I love it. I love it. You know what I'm saying? Like I've been watching so much NBA basketball. It's just like, I'll be cooking and it just plays in the background. I just need it playing. You know what I'm saying? So I love it and I can't wait. So Craig, let me ask you this. NBA East, Eastern Conference, semifinal playoffs. Miami Heat versus New York Knicks. Who's winning the series and why?
Before the series started, I picked the Knicks.
Uh-huh. Sticking with them?
I'm still sticking with them.
All right.
I know they struggle obviously without Butler, and they had to pull it out late. But I'm just going off of I think they have more. I don't know what's going to happen with Jimmy Butler. I don't know if he's coming back. I think that the injury is going to be a big significant injury. They already lost Tyler Hero, so it's pretty much Kyle Lowry and Bam Adebayo, and then some other pieces around them that can score or whatever that they need to score. But I just like Brunson. I like Randall, Barrett, and just like that three-headed, I guess, monster or whatever you want to call it. And then you have Hart in there as well, and so they have. I like their unit a little bit better, especially if Jimmy Butler's not going to play. Now I don't know what his status is. I think they don't play again until Saturday. I think
it's Saturday.
That's a lot of time off, so he can heal. They go back home. They did what they needed to do on the road, which is a split. So now they go back home and they can at least go. I mean, they have a chance to go up 3-1. But I'm still sticking with the Knicks. I think it should be a physical series, but I like Brunson right now and the way he's playing. And like I said, if Jimmy Butler can't come back, I don't know what the Heat are going to do, because I don't expect Kyle Lowry to come up with 30 points like he did, I think, in game 1. So I'm just not a believer. I never liked Kyle Lowry anyway, so that's never secret.
We know that.
Yeah, I can't stand him. I think, but yeah, I got the Knicks in this one, man. I think if they do go to a game 7, it's back in the Garden. The Garden is rocking. The crowd is crazy. So
it's crazy, man.
Their crowd sucks. It's been terrible forever, basically. So they don't really have a home court to me. Not like they used to have, maybe probably back when LeBron then was there, but even still then it wasn't that great.
Yeah. LeBron called him out a couple times. But you know what? I gotta go to Heat, man. I'm on the Heat train. I think the Heat are gonna win. I think that Jimmy Butler's getting rest on an ankle. It's very hard to win in Miami. Listen, you got to be focused when you're playing in the NBA, because when you go to certain cities, players hang out. It's just a fact. Players go to LA, they're hanging out. Players go to New York, they're hanging out. Players go to Miami, they're hanging out. So if they have good leadership, they'll be able to focus. But I don't know, man. There was no Jimmy, and it was up to the last minute. I gotta give it to Jimmy Buckets, man. Playoff Jimmy is here. Okay? And once again, he's gonna go to the Eastern Conference Finals. Again, just like he did a couple years ago. Or last year. Maybe last year. I just think so, man. All right, Craig, Philadelphia 76ers and the Boston Celtics.
I'm still sticking with Boston.
Yeah.
I don't see any reason to switch away from Boston because they lost the first game.
Yeah.
So it was a gut check. It's unfortunate, and they shouldn't have lost again because there was no Embiid, and Embiid's probably not going to play in game 2, which is it's unfortunate because I want.
He said he might. He said it. He was like, "I'm going to."
I don't know if he's going to play. But even if he does play, he's not going to be 100%. So, but I mean, and who knows? Maybe that will hurt the offense compared because they play in like an hour, less than an hour. So sometimes if you're like, I don't think he needs to play because they already did what they needed to do, which is get a or at least get one road win. So if they lose tonight, it's still 1-1, and they like all you want to do as a road team is to get a split at least. And they already did that. So there's really no reason for him to play tonight, especially if he's not 100%, because he could just hurt the team even worse. Versus when you have James Harden running the show or his ability to go out there and score, he can just, I mean, you can, it's a different offense. It's how they do everything is different. But I'm still sticking with Boston. I think that team that went to the finals last year is still hungry to get to the finals again this year. I think their team improved with some of the additions that they got. Williams is still he's still there. Obviously they have Smart, who was the defensive player of the year last year. Tatum and Brown are obviously still there. Brogdon, I like Brogdon as far as defense. So I'm not moving away from the Celtics right now. I think that game one was definitely a reality check for them, and I think they're going to come back in game two and win it, whether Embiid's there or not. And I think eventually they're going to take the series.
Yeah, now I do agree with you on that one. Even I like Philadelphia, but this is the whole thing. Like, first of all, shout out to James Harden dropping 45. Phenomenal. Philadelphia hasn't lost a playoff game, but I don't expect Boston. Jaylen Brown didn't take no shots in the second half. Tatum didn't take no shots in the fourth quarter. I do not see that happening again. And I love the 76ers, but I just, for them to beat Boston, they're going to need Joel Embiid 100%. At least 80. At least 80%. But, you know, I just I don't see it, man. I don't. Now, if 76ers win tonight, I don't see Boston coming back from 0-2.
I'm not even going to count them out at the 0-2.
Maybe. I mean, teams have been coming back, but I don't know. Boston plays weird to me sometimes, man. It's kind of like another team we're about to get to, but I'm still picking Boston, guys. I'm still picking Boston. They should be able to turn it around. I'm not hitting the panic button. You know, I think they'll win and close it out. All right. This is going to be a quick one. And I love this young man because he came from the same, he was raised right down the street from me. We're going to talk about the Phoenix Suns and Denver Nuggets. The whole thing about the Denver Nuggets, where number one, they got rest because they got Minnesota out of there. But so the Phoenix Suns. But the thing is, the playoffs are usually, sometimes they're one game every day. Game, rest, right? And I knew this was going to happen, but like running KD and Booker 40 plus minutes against the Clippers without Paul George and Kawhi, I knew this was going to hurt them because it's, they can't be playing that much minutes. Now Chris Paul's out with a groin. Of course he is. I love Chris Paul. He's one of my favorite point guards, but nobody can beat Father Time. Not even LeBron. LeBron's a little different. We're going to get to that next. But, like, just think about this. Chris Paul has had injuries almost every year in the playoffs or the finals. And this year he's out with a groin because he played 40-plus minutes because they don't have a good rotation. And then they only got 4 points. Their bench is horrible. You got to have a bench in the playoffs. You got to have at least an 8-man rotation. And I think the Nuggets have it. And unfortunately, I don't think they're going to sweep them. But it's unfortunate for the Suns. Now, hopefully the Suns come back next year, reload with some free agents that want to come and play. And then it'll be very interesting next year. it'll be interesting because then this is just a prediction. I think Kyrie stays in Dallas. They put some talent around him and Luka. The Lakers gonna keep their squad. You're gonna have Phoenix. It's gonna be the Wild Wild West, baby. Next year, and Golden State's probably gonna reload again, or they're gonna be back. So the West is gonna be off the chain next year, and hopefully the Clippers are healthy. I think Westbrook goes to a team like Miami, which he would fit perfectly with that culture. And that would give Jimmy because you got to think if Miami had Russ, they would have won last night. I mean, it would have beat the Knicks with Russ. But I'm just saying. So that's all. I think the Nuggets are going to win the series. What about you, Craig? Phoenix Suns versus Denver Nuggets.
I'm sticking with the Suns. I'm not switching to the Nuggets. I don't believe in the Nuggets. I never have. They've given me no reason to still believe in them. I do respect them. I think they're a solid team. They had a really good regular season or whatever, best record in the West. But I mean, they gotta prove. I don't know. They just haven't proved it to me. And I know they deserve a little bit more respect and they should be taken seriously. But I can't take the Nuggets seriously.
Okay. I understand that.
They might. It's probably just like to me, it's just like a history thing or whatever it is. Like they've never done anything for me to feel like, okay, the Nuggets are going to be. They've had the best record in the West before, and they've done nothing. I mean, so excuse me. I think the Suns, unfortunately, I agree with you that they did run Kevin Durant and Chris Paul and Devin Booker a lot in that first series against the Clippers, and I mean, they really had to because they were probably. Who knows, man? I think they probably would have. This series would have went a lot longer. I don't know if they would have lost. I'm still sticking with I'm still picking the Suns, but that was dicey, man. The way that they played without Kawhi and how the Clippers, I give them credit. But they're well coached. Ty Lue's a great coach. Russell Westbrook stepped up, something I didn't see happening, and he played efficiently, especially after the first game. He was horrible in the first game.
Yeah.
But he stepped up in the rest of the series. But the Suns don't have any depth, man. I mean, as far as people that can come in off the bench and score, Cameron Payne's he's back, but he's not 100%. At least it doesn't look like. TJ Warren's not there. He's still out. I don't think he's going to be back. They traded for him a while ago. So they don't really have
TJ Warren still hurt?
He's not playing. He's done. Yeah.
Damn,
they just don't have any pieces.
That's
and then
unfortunate.
Chris Paul going down in the playoffs is inevitable. You know what's going to happen. It's just a matter of when. If he doesn't go down in the playoffs, then you got yourself then they'll probably win a championship because he goes down every single playoffs. It seems like he's just injury prone. It doesn't even matter about his age. He was going down when he was younger than what he is now. So and then you got DeAndre Ayton. He's not. He just doesn't look like he's aggressive enough out there for me. He's getting obviously Jokic is 2-time back-to-back MVP.
Look aggressive. It's not looking aggressive.
Jokic is not that athletic to me, and he's not that good on defense. He's just a big body. But I mean, DeAndre Ayton, he just got to want it. He just got to go in there and try to body him. And obviously, Jokic is 2-time MVP for a reason. But you got to want to beat this team. And he just doesn't look like he wants to be there. And they didn't hit enough threes in game 2. They hit 6 out of 31 threes. That's not going to cut it. And that was a game that they needed because Murray played like trash compared to the first.
He did.
I mean, you don't really see a team, especially nowadays, for the most part, scoring 87 points, especially in the playoff. Well, maybe in the playoff, but
I don't know, man. That's rare.
I'm just saying, it's more rare probably in the regular season but in the playoffs, defense gets a little tighter and everything like that. But to just score 87 points, it's just tough, especially when you got Kevin Durant and Devin Booker out there. But I'm still sticking with the Suns to come back and win this series.
All right, man. So the next team is my favorite team. Got the colors on right now, but it's my favorite colors. Anyway, is the Los Angeles Lakers versus the Golden State. Now, this series is probably gonna not shock you who I'm gonna pick, but I've been rocking with them. I said it maybe a couple weeks ago, 3, 4 weeks ago, I was like, we're gonna win a championship. I still believe that. We have one of the best records, actually the best record in NBA after the trade deadline, and uh, we're just playing. We're playing good, yeah, after the trade deadline. Um, Philly has the best record since December, so which is good. You know, teams that have really good records and that are in February or March, in the NBA, it tends to carry over into the playoffs. Either make a deep run or win the finals. I think the Lakers pull this out, and not. This is the thing. I think Anthony Davis's defense has been crazy this year, and I think Golden State, unfortunately, two things that goes against them. They don't have their defense sucks. And I get it against Sacramento, but you can't do that against the Lakers because you're gonna have Dennis Schroeder and D'Lo and Rui Hachimura. They're gonna be playing really well, and if you don't have anybody to stop AD and AD is gonna have a good game. I think the reason everybody's like, well, AD didn't play well against the Grizzlies. Well, the defensive player of the year, Jaren Jackson, is guarding him. Golden State has Looney, which is good at defense, but I don't know if he's quick enough on AD level. Jaren Jackson's a different level, right? So I think I think that's the Lakers. And then here's another thing that concerns me about Draymond and Looney, that they're not offensive threats. So LeBron's playing off of them. You know what I'm saying? LeBron's playing off of Looney and off of Draymond, which gives LeBron James more rest on the defensive end, and he can pay attention to somewhere else like Steph or Jordan Poole. And the third thing is Golden State's not good on the road. They're not good on the road, and I don't see them stealing one in LA. And I love Jordan Poole, but he hasn't been playing good. So they need him to play good to win this series. I just don't see it. So I have the Lakers winning the series. All right, Craig. Who you got, Lakers or Golden State?
Golden State. Not picking the Lakers over Golden State. Not in the no. Can't do it. So
Watch, Corey, watch.
no, I don't think so.
6 games.
It's not gonna be 6 games. But the Lakers did what they're supposed to do. They got one game. I don't think they're gonna win game 2. Problem is that they called it was a lot of fouls against the Warriors in game 1 versus the Lakers in game 2, or versus the Lakers in game 1. Foul discrepancy was out of control. It's just something that I don't think the refs are going to allow to happen. The Warriors didn't shoot a free throw until about 30 seconds left or something like that in the second quarter. That's unacceptable in the playoffs, especially at home. Anthony Davis is going to get his, and that's fine. The problem is that the Lakers don't do well against the screen and roll, like especially if somebody like Steph Curry is running around. Nobody's really going to be able to guard Steph Curry, keep up with him. He's going to move back and forth. That's what he does. It's hard to stick with somebody who constantly just never stops moving. The Lakers just don't have anybody that can do that. Anthony Davis cannot sit in the paint while you're coming off of a pick, because you're going to just let somebody get a wide open three. And they had 21 threes. Excuse me. I don't. Poole had a really good game. He had 21 points off the bench. They're going to need more out of Steph. Steph might need to average 35 in this series, which is fine. I think he can do that. He just came off a 50-point game. So he might. I mean, they just played a couple of days ago, so maybe he's a little fatigued. They just won 2 games back-to-back on the road, including a game 7, which is normally the home team wins the game 7. So I'm still sticking with Golden State. I think they have, as far as shooting goes, it's not even close. As far as in the paint goes, it's not even close. On that other side, it's just going to come down to the threes. It seemed like it was going to come down to the threes versus the free throws. one team's getting all the free throws, one team's getting all the threes. That might kind of balance itself out, and then it comes down to who's going to make enough plays. I do agree that Draymond and Looney are not offensive threats. Wiggins needs to step up. He hit his first three and then missed his next four.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to need more out of him. They need more out of him on the defensive side. The Warriors are not good on defense like they were last year.
Which is crazy.
Yeah, it's bad because it's just 1 year ago. Yeah. And they're not good on the road either, but I think they have, after winning those last two games, I think on the road, I think they know that they can, that this is the playoffs and that's the regular season, and they're going to leave that there. Mm-hmm. They're just going to need more out of Wiggins and more out of Steph.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's crazy because the defense dropped off. But Wiggins, man, he hasn't played in a minute.
He's played.
It might take some time to get his legs under him.
Nah, I think he's fine because he had a pretty good game the first game of the series against Sacramento. It's just, I don't know. He's just not aggressive enough sometimes. I don't know.